Hey there, families. Every school year at about this time, we host an event we call Curriculum Night. It's an opportunity for us to share more detailed information with you than what you get at Meet the Teacher. But we know that not everyone can make it that night, so I wanted to share a series of short videos with you that I'm calling First Grade Survival Guide. These videos will cover topics like safety, daily life in first grade, field trips, teacher life, communication, and expectations for parents. I'll present it like a quiz show, and I invite you to guess along with each question. If you have any questions after watching, please reach out to your child's teacher, whether that's me or someone else on our team, and we'll be happy to talk it over with you. With that said, let's talk a little bit about safety in this first installation of First Grade Survival Guide. Well, as the slide says, safety comes first. There are some things that we do for safety that might seem unnecessary or not make a lot of sense to you, but we do ask for your understanding in these areas, even when you might see things a little bit differently than we do. So let's take a look at our first question. Let's suppose that you're a parent volunteer, and today you had to park in the back of the school. To enter the building, you should walk around to the front of the building, text your child's teacher to send your child to come let you in, knock on the door closest to the office until another adult lets you in, or try to slip in with another adult who has a badge. What do you think? The correct answer is walk around to the front of the building. No one inside the building is allowed to let anyone enter the building. Even teachers aren't supposed to hold the door open for each other. And district employees whose badges will open the door still have to check in at the front office. We realize that our front parking lot is pretty small, but unfortunately we can't open doors even for our wonderful families. So hopefully you're able to get a spot in the front parking lot. If you're not, then we are going to ask you to walk around to the front. But regardless, we thank you for your time, and we hope that that won't prevent you from volunteering. Let's take a look at our next question. Let's say you are the teacher now. Would you rather explain to a visitor why they aren't allowed to eat with their student, explain to a visitor why they aren't allowed to pick up their child, approach an unknown vehicle that is watching recess, or try to enforce car lines at dismissal? Now this one's your choice. The one that's the most difficult and awkward for me is to approach an unknown vehicle that's watching recess. So that's what I'm going to pick. Now all of these are situations that can seem unnecessarily strict. But if you interact with one of us in one of these ways, please understand that from our end, we're not trying to be unfriendly. We are simply trying to make sure that our students are safe and that only authorized adults have access to them during the school day. If you pick up your child in a car, please do not switch lanes at dismissal. When you enter the car lanes, your child's number is put into the system, and it's noted whether they are the inside lane that's closer to the building or that outside lane. That's where they're placed, and when drivers switch lanes, it creates an unsafe situation for all parties. And the child has to be taken back across traffic to be put in the car. Please also do not call your child to the car as you approach, because first graders, they will run toward your vehicle without regard to their own safety. And we certainly don't want that. So we ask for your help in all of these situations, and please understand that they are just as awkward for us as they may be for you. But it's all coming from a mindset of safety first. Let's take a look at our next question. True or false? Yesterday, another student got some of his friends to make fun of your child at recess. This is bullying. True or false? What do you think? This is actually false. Now, hear me out. Even though this is definitely not okay, and the teacher should definitely know about it. By the way, please don't assume that your child has told us. A lot of first graders don't tell the teacher, and then they go home and they tell their parents. So if they tell you something, don't assume that we've already heard it. Please reach out to us about this. But this situation doesn't meet the criteria of what we call bullying. So in order for an action to meet the standards for bullying, it has to meet 3 criteria. 1, it has to be a repeated action and not just a one-time offense. It has to be unwanted or unwelcome. And then 3, it must involve an imbalance of power between the victim and the aggressor. The situation described in the slide meets those last 2 criteria, but maybe not the first one. As I said, though, regardless, this is definitely something that can and should be investigated, and we encourage you to let us know about it. Even if we're not able to call it bullying, that doesn't mean that we're diminishing the importance of what happened to your child. And we hope that a situation like this never happens to them, certainly. Well, let's take a look at one more slide that's related to safety. Our last question for this installation will be this. Teaching kindness is whose job? Parents' job? The teacher's job? Nobody's job? Kids will figure it out on their own. Or everybody's job? Yeah, this one's pretty obvious, right? It's everybody's job. With that in mind, please teach your child kindness at home. We reinforce this all day long at school, but the truth is that no one has a greater influence on children than their own parents and caregivers. So they're going to listen to your voice even more than they listen to ours, and we are trying to create a safe and kind environment at school, and we heartily invite you to partner with us in that endeavor. And with that, that brings our first installation of First Grade Survival Guide to a close. I hope that this has been helpful. We've talked a little bit about safety today. In our next installation, we'll talk a little bit about daily life in first grade. And so look forward to that. And again, if you have any questions about what you saw in this video, we encourage you to reach out to either me or someone else on our team. And hope that you have a great week. See you soon.